Hi, I'm going to present the EtherCAT master demo running on TI's AM57x IDK. This demo is based on a TI design. The TI design guide can be used along with this video in order to get the EtherCAT master demo up and running in your board in a shorter time. We also have training series videos for the EtherCAT master on Sitara devices. We encourage our viewers to take a look at these videos. So the purpose of this video is to build and run the EtherCAT master protocol on TI AM57x IDK board. In order to demonstrate connectivity between the master and a slave EtherCAT network, we will use AM3359 ISV2 board as an EtherCAT slave. However, you can use any other EtherCAT slave or multiple slaves for testing this demo. Let's check we have all the hardware required for building and running the EtherCAT master demo. For these two boards, we will need the respective power supply adapters. We will also need an Ethernet cable for connecting them. An USB to micro USB cable will be used for connecting the IDK board to a computer. And a micro USB will be used for booting and loading the EtherCAT slave into the ISV2 board. Let's check which software we need to download and install for running the demo. First, we need a Contis EtherCAT master stack and PRU-ICSS EtherCAT link layer library. In this link, you can get the IRTOS version of a Contis EtherCAT master stack. This also includes a CCS project demo. Also from here, you can get the PRU-ICSS link layer. You will also need the EC Engineer tool. We will use it for creating the any file. Also, we need to download the processor SDK RTOS for AM57 devices. We need to have installed Code Composer Studio in the computer. And we need terminal emulator. In my case, I am going to use TeraTerm. Now let's check which software we need for running the EtherCAT slave in the ISV2 board. We will use a PRU-ICSS EtherCAT slave. Please download the pre-built binaries. These pre-built binaries are created with a specific processor SDK version. You can see which version was used in the user guide. In this case was used 4.0.0. Please go ahead and download this version of the processor SDK for AM335 devices. You can find the installers for Windows and Linux in the download webpage. So how to run EtherCAT slave on ISV2 board via SD card? So first, we need to create a bootable SD card. Please follow the instructions from this link. This link will guide you step by step how can you create a bootable SD card for processor SDK binaries. For this process, you will need an SD card image. This image can be found in the processor SDK, pre-built SD cards, SD card image folder. At the end of the process, you will have a bootable SD card. Now you are ready to copy the bootloader file and the application binary. The bootloader file is also called MLO. This file can be found in the processor SDK, pre-built SD cards, SD card files. Please copy this file in your SD card. Now we will need the application binary, in this case the EtherCAT slave application. So please go to the pre-built binaries that we already download and unzip and copy the app binary in your SD card. Now we are ready. We can take out the SD card from the computer, put it in the ICE version 2 board and turn it on. You will see that the industrial's LED will light. Now let's talk about how to create an EtherCAT network information file or any file using EC Engineer tool. Steps are here, but we will do it also in the video. Please open the EC Engineer tool. Go to the online configuration. Select the class A master. Select the network adapter on which your EtherCAT network is connected. This will automatically scan for all the slaves and a slave network will appear in the upper left window. Now you are ready to export the ini file. Please save this ini file inside of the EC Master Demo ini folder. You can change the name of the file. Or in our case, we will use a ISV2 board. So what if my slave boards are not scanned? Then you will need to add their EC files through the EC Manager. Open the Manager, press Add File, and navigate through your EC file. In our case, we will get that file from the EtherCAT slave EC folder. The file that we will add is the TI EtherCAT library XML. So after the EC Manager rebuilds their cache, we will see the file that we just add. We can close, re-scan the network, and voila. Okay, let's see how can we create the master any.c file using the previous any file that we exported with the EC Engineer tool and a bin2header tool. Please run this bin2header tool in a console window with below instructions. This will create the master any.c file and will give us the file size. This file size needs to be added in a variable at the end of the master any.c file as shown here. Please save this new master any.c file at this location. In order to run the EC master demo on CPSW, please connect the boards as shown here. Okay, let's open CCS. Let's go to File, Import, CCS Projects, Next. Browse to the directory on which is the EC Master Demo workspace folder. Okay, and finish. Now you have the project in CCS workspace. Clean the project and build it. So what we are building, let me show you a couple of files. We can double check that our master any.c file is the correct one, the one that we just create. Yep, it's okay. We can also check how the demo is configured, which cycle time, which interface, port, etc. This information is in the demo config.h. And okay, now that we have built our EC Master Demo.out, we can launch our target. This can take a few seconds. Now we can connect the ARM Cortex A15 core. This will run a gel file, some scripts for initialization. Now we can load the executable that we just built, the EC Master Demo.out. Okay. Now we are ready to run it. I have TeraTerm connected, my board and my computer via the USB cable. If I press play, resume, now the demo is running. We can see there is some statistics and some information of how the EtherCAT master is configured. So before we run the EC Master demo in the PRU-ICSS port, we need to copy the link ledger library inside of the EC Master Demo SDK libraries. Okay, let's run the demo on a PRU-ICSS port. Please connect the boards as shown in the picture. In CCS project properties, in libraries, please highlight libraries to the project with the respective paths to the PDK. Please also add the link ledger ICSS symbol. Now we are ready to build the project and run it. When run it, you can see on top that it says that it's running in the ICSS. The rest of the information is similar to what we saw before when running the demo on the CPSW interface. This concludes our how-to video. For additional information, please visit our EtherCAT Master Reference Design on Sitara AM57. Also, you can visit our training series for the EtherCAT Master on Sitara processors. If you have any question or any issue running this demo, please post it in our E2E forum. Thank you for watching.